I never reviewed Trust when it came out. I had my reasons, and I'm going to go through those as I go through this review. A lot's changed since this weapon has come out, and when I looked at the perk pool way back then, a couple things were okay, but now there was something that I wanted. I rolled the dice, and wouldn't you know it, I got it. 180 hand cannons have been a roller coaster, and as far as the Crucible, I've been a harsh critic of them up until that range normalization. With some perks they can get, they do warrant usage. They do quite well in the current sandbox. I mean, look at it. It's doing just fine. So with today's review, even though it is late, I want to kind of consider what we would have wanted and shift to what it kind of needs now, if that makes sense. There's an in-between here if you can't raid or if you can't do this or that, don't have access to certain things. There are rules in between for you to look out for. Base stat-wise, these have low inherent handling. Trust is no different, but it has better than average range and stability. You can focus these, get engrams, roll the dice. It has a massive perk pool. We have the intrinsic precision frame that's plus 25 airborne. That's always going to be good. In that left column, we have things like hipfire, opening shot, snapshot, slideways, rapid hit, surplus, heating up. Some good ones. In the final column, PvE or the Crucible, Dragonfly, explosive payload, golden tricorn, incandescent, things like that. Before the range changes, I had a lot of issues with these because you can max them out as high as you can go with their range. That's, full bore range, masterwork, accurizer, ricochet, whatever with rangefinder. And they'd get up to about 35, 36 or so meters. But at that point, everything is going into the weapon just to compete within the ranges that it should be competing in that mid-range. At the time, and a little bit after, with these 180s, things like Palindrome, just at base, and then with a little bit of range help, they're already surpassing the range. They have a faster TTK. So it's at a point to where, why even bother? But now, with that range normalization, that's changed. Because before, when this thing came out, you wanted rangefinder, pretty much needed rangefinder. You'd be looking for slideways, rapid hit, surplus, opening shot with rangefinder with your max range. But now since it's normalized, yes, you do want the range, but you're not going to be essentially wasting a perk on rangefinder just so it can compete. And what made me come back for this weapon, I was having a lot of fun with Word of Crota, the little 180 that could. So when I went back and looked at this thing, I was like, well, what makes it special, or what could make it special and set it apart? And it really started with explosive payload. I wanted max range explosive payload, and then some serviceable perks in the third. I ended up getting it. Hammer forged, accurized, range masterwork, snapshot, explosive payload. As far as the 180s, they shoot fast. It's one of the faster weapons in the game with explosive payload. The only other one is Vulpecula, and you can't get that anymore. You need Xur to bring it, or the gunsmith, or whatever. Maybe through dares, I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. But explosive payload absolutely peppers them with flinch, and you're relying on that to win gunfights. And I've won a ton because of it. I know that their aim's struggling a little bit. I see that they miss a shot on their second or third because of explosive payload. Now in the gameplay, I'm running it with Radiant Frosties, and with Radiant, I can 3-tap, so I still have the .67. I'm able to duel, and with explosive payload, that explosive part never loses damage fall off, so it's doing good damage at a distance. Very easy to control. It's got great AE. I did put on a backup mag for 16, and it flows so well. It has 35 handling, made up for with snapshot. It's got a fast ADS, snappy, I flinched them. I've been really enjoying it. It's been doing really, really well. Now, in Season 22 and beyond, hand cannons at base get up to 37.5 meters. That's with 100 range. Before, max range would get up to 35 meters, and then rangefinder would just carry it. This roll that I have gets up to 33, which is a lot better than its 30 base. As far as some of the other perks, another really good one is Golden Tricorn. And I say that because Golden Tricorn hits the threshold, tier 10 and under, you can 3-tap after that first kill. And if you don't have Word of Crota or another 180 that has Golden Tricorn, this is it. It's worth going for. Personally, it's Sword Logic, Word of Crota. That's just going to beat all of them. But Golden Tricorn's still good. And like I said, there's that in between. If you can't raid, Trust is something that is going to be really, really good with Golden Tricorn. We have things like Incandescent. That's PvE style, so slide, surplus, stats for all Incandescent can work really, really well. Explosive payloads, tried and true in PvE. We have things like Dragonfly. Trust was the only weapon in the game that could roll Dragonfly Rampage. It can't do that anymore. Technically, it's going to be stats for all with Dragonfly, but a lot of little things can work. It doesn't have things like Demolitionist in the third to go with Adrenaline Junkie or Frenzy, which kind of sucks. But I think now, since the dust has settled, a pretty special PvP hand cannon with explosive payload, max range. And again, that's with slide, rapid hit, surplus, opening shot. I really wanted Snapshot secretly down deep because of the handling stat. It just makes it feel great. So a little quick review. I know this is a holiday week. I have a video coming out on Friday, but I believe that this week is the Gambit week for double. So as you're focusing some things, if you do decide to play Gambit, trust is here. And I never would have touched this before all these changes that were made, but now I've been really enjoying the 180s, and I'm really glad that I got the roll that I got. And these specifically with explosive payload are pretty special. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about trust down below. Like I said, I know that this is a little bit late, really late actually, but that's fine. So what do you think with this roll that I got, what it can do now in the current sandbox? Meme or the dream? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.